All right, thank you. We're going to get started. This is a committee on Ag and Forestry. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Chairman McFarland,
Here.
present. Representative Bourriac, present. Representative Brass, present. Representative Bryant, Representative Butler, Representative Deshotel, present. Representative Fisher, present. Representative Travis Johnson, Representative McCormick, Representative McMahon, present. Representative Miller, Representative Mincy, present. Representative Romero, present. Representative Selders, Representative St. Blanc, present. Representative Thompson, Representative Turner, present. Representative Wheat, present. Representative White, present. 12 members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. All right. First, I want to take a moment and recognize some guests we have. Today we have employees of Stella Jones with us in the Agriculture Committee. Stella Jones, if you do not know, is a railway and ties and utility pole manufacturer. They serve as a major employer to the central and northern part of Louisiana with facilities in Spring Hill, Converse, Alexandria, and Pineville. And obviously with all the storm damage we had, I assure you they've been very busy. At this time, though, I'd like to ask Mr. Glenn Pittman with Stella Jones to come forward. Is he in the? Yeah, he is. The sergeant at arms had passed out. This is some information about them. I'll let him tell a little bit about it. Welcome to the Ag Committee. Just when you start, just announce your name, please.
Yeah, Chairman, I'm Glenn Pittman, Vice President of Operations with Stella Jones Corporation, and also a member of the forestry board here in Louisiana. So very interested in forestry, and so appreciate this committee and you, Mr. McFarland, about your dedication to forestry. Such an important and vital thing to the state, and we're very proud to be a member of that forestry committee, and we can't update that sheet quick enough because of the growth that's going on these days in the power companies. But people don't know we're there until the power goes out, and then we pretty much they want to talk to us. But we just appreciate this committee and what you do for us. I think I mentioned in this thing, and you could update that for 21. We're one of the few people in the world that can get the power back on for in the fashion that we've done it in the past 2 years. Close to 50,000 poles we brought into Louisiana, our network, always coast to coast. Some of these up to 110 feet long, and we've been having to work with a lot of people in the state to make sure we can get them traveling on weekends and things when people still want their power on. So we appreciate what you do, and if we call on you during the storm, it's because we're trying to get people's power back on and get us done. But just appreciate the committee and what you do.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pittman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here today and all that your industry does and the jobs you provide, but more importantly, the services that you provide. I think I'm going to start today. Representative White, would you like to take the chair? I'm going to go to the table.
Staff, if you would read in the bill, please.
Thank you, Miss Acting Chair. Members, this is HCR 57 by Representative McFarland. Urges and requests the legislature of Louisiana to support the Grow the Good Farmers Market Match Program.
Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, committee members. Look, I have really been excited. This is one of the few opportunities, and I think you all have known this. We've been talking about it. I went around and I think everybody in this committee co-authored this piece of legislation. There were so many co-authors, we couldn't put them all on one page. That's when you know you have a piece of good legislation. But more importantly, one of the great things that we're doing with this piece of legislation and the funding that was pushed through in HB1 on Monday, funding this program, is we're doing, I call it 3 wins. This is a win for the farmers. It's a win for those that need and are after good quality health outcomes by purchasing produce and vegetables. But it's also a win for the state because both the farmer and the citizens, those that utilize SNAP benefits, are winning. That's why it's a 3-win. But let me tell you a little bit about Grow the Good. And I think that was a fantastic title for this program. The program will provide Louisiana farmers markets and operations with funding to create or expand a market match SNAP program whereby increasing the number of shoppers at farmers markets and the amount of fresh produce consumed in Louisiana, which will create a mutual benefit, and these are the wins, of positively impacting the state's agricultural economy and farmers while helping to decrease the food insecurity of some of the most vulnerable populations in Louisiana. I want to highlight there's so many things I could say, but there's just a few things I really think it's important that we highlight. The fruits and vegetables crops account for around $160 million in total farm value to this state. I think it's important we recognize the significant contributions that agricultural plays when we're talking about the finances of the state. Over 1,000 farmers in Louisiana operate in direct-to-consumer consumption and sales. The Gus Schumacher Nutrition Incentive Program allows the USDA to provide funding opportunities to conduct and evaluate projects, providing incentives to increase the number of fruits and vegetables by low-income consumers. Today, and I'm going to highlight this, there are only, and I say it positively but also negatively, and I think that's why this legislation is important, there are only 34 SNAP authorized farmers markets in Louisiana. And it is my hope today that working with Grow the Good, the ladies you see sitting at the table, and with this committee and the legislature, that we have the opportunity to more than double that. I'd like to see every community have a farmer's market, not just 34. 15% of all Louisiana homes in 2020 suffered from food insecurity. Louisiana continues to suffer from some of the poorest health outcomes in the country, in large part due to the 47.5% of adults that are reported that consumed fruit less than 1 time daily, and nearly 33% reporting they consume vegetables less than 1 time a day. Now, for me, coming from a rural community, that's hard for me to understand. That's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. You know, the access that I have to it. I mean, today I walked in, I have an apple sitting up on my desk. I have a banana. It's so easy for me to go get it, but we have so many citizens that do not have that access to quality fruits and vegetables. But we also have a significant number of what I like to call our senior citizens and our retirees. And look, I'll say this, my father was one of those that would grow 1 or 2 acres. He planted 2 acres in purple hull peas and could sell 100 to 160 bushel of peas a year. That's a lot of peas. I know, I had to help pick them. I mean, even at 50, I still had to keep picking them. But my point is, and not just the peas, it's even the eggs. I mean, the guy has 60 chickens. I mean, we have to give the eggs away. We have so many. But my point to that is there's so many senior citizens, just like my father and many of yours, that do this. They grow those 1 or 2 acres, and they show up at the farmers markets. I have one in Winfield, and I see those individuals. And it provides an opportunity for them to make extra income. It gives them the opportunity to provide fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits and vegetables that they're proud of. I mean, when you go to a farmer's market, those ladies and gentlemen are proud to stand there and hold those vegetables and produce in their hands. Look, and that's some of the best watermelons I ever get come from a little rural farm, and the guy has 2 acres. They're the sweetest watermelons I ever eat. But I'm privileged because I get to do that. But we have a large group of people in Louisiana that now, that although they do receive SNAP benefits, we have an opportunity to provide access to them to quality health care. To quality food. We talk about health care so much in appropriations, I can't ever get it off my mind. But before I continue the point, I'm going to allow these ladies, if you would, read in the green.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Why do I have this? All of it. Okay. Okay, we have Cordelia Henney and Allison Flynn with Beretta that would like to speak. If you don't mind, state your name and who you represent for the record.
Good morning. I'm Cordelia Heaney, and I am with Market Umbrella in New Orleans.
And I am Allison Flynn. I'm the development director for Beretta in Baton Rouge.
So as I said, I'm Cordelia Heaney. I'm the executive director of Market Umbrella and the Crescent City Farmers Markets in New Orleans. Thank you, Representative McFarland, so much for being a champion for farmers and for bringing HCR 57 before the committee today. And thank you so much for your support, as well as the 55 co-authors that we have for HCR 57. This is really important for the Grow the Good Market Match program. On behalf of the farmers, fishers, ranchers, and food vendors we work with each year, and the 100,000 plus annual shoppers that we have at Crescent City Farmers Market, we're truly humbled by all of your support. And so glad that you share our vision for what supporting statewide Market Match can do for Louisiana farmers and families. Market Umbrella is the nonprofit operator of the Crescent City Farmers Markets in New Orleans. We're a 26-year-old organization that operates 3 weekly year-round rain or shine farmers markets for the greater New Orleans community. Our mission is to provide public markets for public good. We're a small business incubator working with food businesses at all levels of development. We're a supporter of Southeast Louisiana foodways and culture, teaching people about local produce and the important food traditions of our community. Finally, we offer a variety of food access programs to help ensure that all people in our community have greater access to fresh local food. The Grow the Good Market Match program will have a direct impact on farmers and shoppers. Crescent City Farmers Markets was one of the first farmers markets in the South to begin accepting SNAP and offering Market Match, which matches SNAP purchases dollar for dollar to be utilized to purchase food at the Crescent City Farmers Markets, while also providing participants with nutrition education activities and information like cooking demonstrations, healthy recipes, and storage tips. We have operated this program for over 15 years in New Orleans, and because of this longevity, we've seen the positive impact it has on the health of shoppers and the incomes of farmers. Over 80% of SNAP shoppers we surveyed report that Market Match is their reason for shopping at Crescent City Farmers Market. So we know that Match is driving sales at farmers markets. 80% report their fresh fruit and vegetable intake has increased as well, and 78% report eating a greater variety of fresh fruit and vegetables as a result of this program. By supporting Grow the Good, you also support the other work that farmers markets do for farmers that may not be as visible. We know that without Louisiana farmers, there are no Louisiana farmers markets. So as well as creating sales opportunities at our markets, staff regularly work as matchmakers, connecting vendors to sales opportunities with local restaurants, institutions, and for-profit distributors. We provide technical assistance and free trainings to help small food businesses at all stages of development navigate insurance, licenses, and other important parts of the business development process. After Hurricane Ida, Market Umbrella raised over $180,000 in donations that went directly to farmers and vendors of our markets who were navigating huge losses as a result of the storm. Louisiana farmers markets work hard to support small farms, and Grow the Good can help us to continue to make farming viable. $1 spent at a farmer's market has about twice the local impact economically as $1 spent at a regular grocery store. So we know Grow the Good is important for farmers, for families, and for the economic benefit of our state. Thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Representative McFarland, thank you and the committee for championing Grow the Good. We are very grateful for your leadership and your support. As I said, my name is Allison Flynn. I live in Covington, and I'm the development director for BREDA, which stands for the Big River Economic and Agricultural Development Alliance. BREDA's mission is to build a healthy and strong local food system, to increase the sustainability of independent local farmers, fishers, and food producers, and to foster stewardship of land and community through public markets. We are the nonprofit organization that operates the wonderful Red Stick Farmers Market, which has 4 locations in Baton Rouge and just celebrated its 25th anniversary in November. In addition to running markets, we have many other programs that serve to connect farmers to families. And one program that I want to highlight is the Louisiana Small Farm Survival Fund, which began in 2005 after Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. This fund exists specifically to provide financial assistance to farmers after natural disasters or unexpected crises. And to date, we have raised over $400,000 to help farmers repair damages and to provide gap funding during times of interrupted income. Our goal is to keep farmers farming. Today, I want to share about some of my experience working with farmers markets across the state so that you know just what your support for Grow the Good means for our state. I currently work with the Red Stick Farmers Market, which is one of the largest and most well-established markets in the state. And I've also worked with markets in parishes like St. Helena, Grant, and Catahoula. And as you can imagine, farmers markets in a rural community like Boyce or Oberlin don't look the same as those in Baton Rouge or New Orleans. Every market is different. They vary in size and structure and atmosphere. Many markets are volunteer-led, and unfortunately, many have little to no budget. Each one is unique, yet there are things that all markets have in common. They need farmers, they need customers, and they want to provide value to their communities. If all adults in Louisiana spent just $5 a week directly with farmers market vendors, those businesses would earn altogether more than $840 million of revenue a year. Now, we know not everyone shops at farmers markets, but Grow the Good will help us move in that direction by encouraging new consumers to use their dollars to purchase local food. Even with this knowledge, it's often difficult for farmers market managers to launch and maintain their own programs like farmers market match programs. Right now, each market is on its own. But we are in a position to build a state-level and state-funded farmers market match program, which would make it more feasible for more markets to participate and offer this transformative resource to their communities. Thank you again for your support for Grow the Good.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate your testimony, and I would like to say that I am so appreciative of folks like you that are salt of the earth, that bring bills like this that make sense, that will help people with their health. When you talked about healthcare earlier and getting it confused, but this is all about the health and what you put in your bodies. And homegrown is just no better. There's no better. I have my little garden going, you know, my little quick pick stuff going. I love to dig in the dirt. And I just really appreciate the efforts that are being put forth to do this, to bring the food to the people and allow them to get the same vegetables and things that come that we take for granted in our land that we have, but others do not. And I'm just real appreciative. I think y'all have a video or something you were wanting to show.
3 farmers that are here.
Okay.
I'm gonna let these 3
All right.
farmers come and speak.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Okay. All right. We have a green card present and would like to speak. Michael Beauchamp.
Michael Beauchamp.
Beauchamp, okay. And Allison Guidros. And we also have Lester LaHoste with the Certified Organic Citrus Persimmons. Welcome to the committee. And if you would, state your name before you speak and what you're representing.
My name is Michael Charles Beauchamp. I live at 8240 Fortier Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm the owner of Know That, Grow That. We have a specialty farming operation. I'm an urban grower, which is a specialty.
Yes.
I grow microgreens, seasonal vegetables, herbs, and flowers. We sell at the Crescent City Farmers Market on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm a retired pharmacist. I've been growing at the Holly Grove Market and Farm since its inception during Katrina, and I'm still growing. Even though Holly Grove has closed, I am continuing to grow. I grow microgreens indoors, specialty product that has a pharmaceutical twist. It has a high soluble vitamin content, a beautiful flavor, and the beauty is microgreens don't have to be cooked. So people infuse them in their food and from breakfast to supper. From my grits to my steaks, I include microgreens in my diet, and I encourage my customers. Since being at the Crescent City Farmers Market, it has afforded me an opportunity to give that knowledge to my customers. My customers, I encourage them to use SNAP because the market matches in value, and it helps my business to survive. I can now bring my product to market and have the food stamp or SNAP funds used to purchase my product and encourage the people that buy my product to go towards plant-based. We all know that plant-based reduces dietary diseases, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, hypertension. It's invaluable. It's a cycle of life that happens between myself, the farmer, my customer. That microgreens are such a new thing that I'm educating everyone across economic and racial lines about the health benefits of microgreens. I'm practicing pharmacy in a way that I'm just elated. My product doesn't have any side effects. I can put my product against one a day, any day. In fact, go to my website, pick up the produce. It registers into the U.S. Department of Agriculture's database and explains exactly the vitamin content of every ingredient, from red cabbage, broccoli, purple radish. I have a variety. The chefs know about it, but now we're going to expand this to afford this product to allow everyday people to come in and take control of their own health care. You can the beauty of the vegetable product is that it can reverse a dietary disease, diabetes, hypertension, whereas most drug products treat.
Yeah.
We're talking about reversal. We're talking about avoiding the disease state for showing its face. I cannot afford the drug products that the pharmaceutical manufacturers have planned for me in the future. I would prefer to avoid the disease state in the first place. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to express my feelings and the reality that if any type of calamity happened, that if you nurture the urban farmer and with the rural farmer, we can circumvent any calamity that can happen food-wise. We can make sure that the farmers are capable of producing the product and making it available to the citizens of the state of Louisiana. We, in the great state of Louisiana, have long growing seasons. We have varieties of products that enhance good nutrition, good dietary products, dairy products, fisheries, the whole gambit. We have an advantage now where if we merge our assets together, add value to the products that we already produce, we have a cycle of economic prosperity that everyone can share in. I went to get my dirt from Schmelly's dirt farm. They produce my compost. When I can't get to them, I have to go to the big box stores. I went to Lowe's the other day, picked up a bag of potted soil. It came from California. I know we can produce compost in Louisiana. We got the best soil in the world.
Amen.
Thank you again for giving me this opportunity, and I know we're going to do the right thing because that's what we do in Louisiana.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate your comments. So you went from prescribing preventive drugs to medical food, growing medical food.
Absolutely.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. And next.
My name is Allison Guidros. My husband and I run a small local farm here in Baton Rouge called Fullness Farm. We've been selling at the Red Stick Farmers Market since 2015. For us, it feels like our calling to grow the best food possible we can for our community. We're from Baton Rouge, and so, I'm selling to my teacher from middle school. I'm selling to somebody I played sports with. Selling to my pastor. These are all people that I know, and it feels like you build real relationships at the farmers market. You see these people every week. So I see the mom coming. She's going to have her first baby, and she's going to start really thinking about what she's eating. And then she comes, maybe a year or so later, and she says, I'm gonna get your carrots to be the first thing I feed my child. And that kind of thing, it's hard to put into words how rewarding something like that is. And so we take our job real seriously about providing the best food we can, and it starts with how we treat our soil, just like Mr. Mike was saying, and the varieties we grow, how we pick it, we wash it, pack it out, so that it's easy for people to enjoy once they buy from us. And speaking to the SNAP program and the matching that's happened, I've had people that have driven from Hammond to Baton Rouge to come to the market to buy from us because they know that there's a SNAP match, and they're starting a young family, and it's just a real important thing that they can get the best food possible for their family. And so I know from the customer end that it makes a big difference, and from the farmer's end it makes a big difference to have that influx. It really, for us, it's our sole income is selling vegetables straight to the consumer. So to be able to have those funds are extremely important, and to have it, the system works well where we turn in our they come in as tokens for us. We turn in our tokens. It's deposited quickly, and we turn around and spend it back here. And we're all in Baton Rouge, so it's spent here, but obviously all spent in the state. So, it was easy for me to be able to come here and say, like, absolutely, this is something that I support, and I thank you guys for also being behind it, and it really matters, and so thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. You, sir.
Hi, I'm Lester LaHost. I live at 6393 Highway 39, Braithwaite, Louisiana. It's in Plaquemines Parish. I grow certified organic citrus, persimmons, figs, and we add in tomatoes this fall. But and we've been doing this since '81, long time. And my family has grown up doing it. you know, the customers we sell to now are children. When we began, we were in the first market in the Crescent City Farmers Market, and the first one in Baton Rouge at the Red Stick. So we've been in these markets for a long time. Both of my children, 2 boys, both grew up in the business. And when they went to college, the farmers market paid for. We split it with them. They got half of whatever the sales were, and they used that to pay their tuition and expenses. And so they graduated from college. Both of them. I have an electrical engineer. He's now a senior electrical engineer and a preacher. And both of them paid for those expenses working at a farmers market. And so we try to bring the best quality we can. That's why we certified organic, and and we treat our customers like their family. So you know, we want to bring the best we can, and that's our presentation. I want to thank you all though for helping us, because without your help, you know, it'd be difficult in the farmers market. And I feel like we meet a need there. Though. We bring the best you can get in produce. You know, I was telling Allison a little earlier. You know, I'm retired from Chevron. I used chemistry over there, and I did that for about 35 years with farming. And you know that a potato, just to give you an idea, you get a potato out the grocery store, it has very little vitamin C in it. But when you pick it out the ground, when you get it out the ground, it has as much vitamin C as an orange. And so getting it fresh is a big difference. And so we specialize in that. Again, I'd like to thank you all for all the help y'all have given us.
Thank you so much for your testimony, and you are correct. Anything that's grown I feel like it must taste like the rain and the sunshine, because it makes a big difference. A tomato grown in the backyard is very different than the ones that are grown in the grocery store. So I appreciate your testimony, and at this time I think that we're ready for the video. And then Travis, I'm going to recognize you after that. Could y'all wait just a moment? I don't see that lit up. I don't see his button lit up. He said he wanted to. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a video, and I think it's going to illustrate the currency component of what we're going to do. But you know, whenever it was described to me how this works, and I was just curious. I just wanted to ask.
Markets every week. Sometimes I'll go to 2 markets.
Any issues with it?
Market Match has greatly increased the nutritional value for our family. We struggle to make ends meet. The SNAP program, and in particular Market Match, allows us to source farm fresh produce. Health and food are 2 of the most important things to me and my family. Growing up in southern Louisiana has given me a deep appreciation for good cooking. My great-grandparents were farmers who supplied fruits and vegetables to the French market. Having the ability to buy direct from farmers and putting money in their hands helps make me feel connected to the land, to the people, and to the state of Louisiana.
When Hurricane Ida hit, my family had to totally refill our fridge, and we were able to do so while helping farmers, who I know were really also hurting, which really meant a lot. This bill would help both farmers and families when we need it most.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. We have another question. Rep Johnson.
Thank you, Acting Chair, and to all of you and Chairman McFarland. Look, I'm really appreciative of this bill because my area is the Delta, Louisiana, and so in that area, I tell you, we have recipients who receive the most SNAP benefits. Plus, it's one of the largest agriculture areas in the state. And so I've been thinking for a long time, what can I do to incentivize and try to bring fresh foods? I mean, look at a place like Lake Providence. Sometimes those folks have to drive almost 20 miles just to even get fresh food. And so this would probably incentivize the farmers to want to even grow more, be involved more in the fresh marketplace, and also just would increase fresh foods in my district. So I appreciate what you guys are doing, and Chairman McFarland for bringing this amazing bill. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Rep Brass, you'll be next, Vince.
Thank you, Madam Acting Chair. I'd just like to also just kind of piggyback off the representative, just thanking you guys for coming here, taking time out of your busy schedule as owners and farmers, just kind of to encourage and to spread the word about how critical it is that we get fresh foods and fresh products to our residents across the great state of Louisiana. I do have a question to Mr. Bosham,
Yes, sir.
who's from New Orleans, and just kind of give you a little background. I'm actually from St. James Parish, from the rural parish area, so I'm not too far from you. So I'd just like to personally and publicly thank you as an African American for being a trailblazer. I know in my area, you don't see too many farmers that look like yourself and myself. So I just want to thank you and commend you. So my question to you is, and while we have our great commissioner of Ag in the room, in addition to the committee members, how can we as a committee, as state government, continue to educate our youth? There was a flyer that put on our desk earlier this week that said that only 23% of individuals that participate in 4-H are African Americans. So I guess my question is, how can we continue to educate our youth, our young African Americans, to want to encourage them to get involved in ag? And then I guess secondly, how can we encourage young black African Americans owners to want to get involved in farming to ultimately become where we can develop a greater footprint across Louisiana?
Well, thank you for the question, and I'm working through my church right now. We have raised beds at our church facility where we offer community garden space as well as knowledge of how to grow to the kids in the community. And we've partnership with a school just last week, where we signed they're applying for a grant to implement a garden as well as chickens on the school grounds. We are going to go in at least once a week to develop and nurture that and teach the kids how to grow. At Holly Grove Market and Farm, we had on Saturdays where the kids would come in and we would literally teach them about the basics of soil, the basics of we had chickens, the soil growing. We had commercial growers growing flowers, specialty products. We had a gentleman that came in and had an aquaponics setup where he showed the kids would come in and learn about the nuances of the new cutting edge ways of growing fruits and vegetables. Right now, growing has evolved to a point where you can grow specialty products and regular products indoors under controlled environment, controlled temperature. When I grow indoor in the little apartment that I have set up, I control the temperature. I control the soil, the moisture. Every aspect of the operation is cutting edge now, and our kids gravitate towards those things. They get excited when you introduce them to the basics of growing. So, given an opportunity like a business that I have, and to teach others about how to grow it, they meet me at the farmers market, they get interested, they visit my website, then the relationship begins, and I teach black kids, Spanish kids, Vietnamese kids. They come, they're interested in, and frankly, the cycle of life is in the garden. Relationship between the human being and the plant, the bugs, the animals. There's a relationship. The cycle of life is revealed. I learned about companion planting, how not to use organic-based pesticides. I use companion planting and other bugs, beneficial bugs, to ward away the bad bugs. The relationship of the cycle of life of a plant. You explain that to a kid. Then he now has a basis for a biological science background. We teach kids about animal husbandry. When we first started at Holly Grove, the kids didn't know. They go to McDonald's, didn't know the egg came from the chicken. Didn't know it. But when they interact with the chicken, saw the egg come from the chicken. And then the cycle of life. This chicken has to be killed for you to eat it. The responsibility, the stewardship of how you handle your product. a living product on a living thing. God wants us to live our lives abundantly. And we can live it with the seeds, the soil, the water he provides. It's a win-win. Everyone.
Okay. Now, thank you. I can definitely tell that you're passionate about what you do. So I would definitely like to get your contact information outside of here where I can continue to develop a relationship with you and see how we can continue to promote African American ownership within
at the
farming.
farmers market, I meet people every day, young people that are very interested in growing. They just want the knowledge. I graduated from Booker T. Washington High School in 1968. It was a trade school at that time. I played music at the time. We had a horticulture, we had cosmetics, we had all sorts of things. That's gone now. We need to put that back in the schools where the kids can learn. When I'm getting older now, I need competent growers that know what they're doing, so to give me clean products that can sustain myself. And again, if any calamity happens, if we support our farmers in urban settings as well as rural settings and match them together, so whatever the calamity, our people gonna have good food all the time. We can transport our food. We don't have to worry about transport. Again, that dirt came from California. I can go to Ville Platte and get my dirt. I mean, I went to the guy that works with me is from Ville Platte. Grew up as a farmer, old man. We collaborated together. He said, I do things. Say, Mike, you can't do that. Mother Nature don't want you to do that. So I'm learning from him. I learned from master gardeners. I learned from other gardeners at the farmers market. I had customers come up and show me different things that I learned from them to help my operation grow. So it's just a win-win situation for everyone. We can be ahead of the game if we develop our farmers urban and rural, match them together with logistic setup where we can deliver that product, develop the farmer, develop the market, and let the money flow.
Yeah, you kind of lead into my next question, Mr. Brim, to the individual representative from Grow the Good. I know you mentioned that you guys was from the New Orleans metropolitan area.
Yes.
To my knowledge, there's no farmers market within the rural parish, which I guess is considered rural. So how can we kind of encourage you guys to want to develop, another greater footprint to where you can maybe develop at least one or a couple farmer market within the St. John, St. James, Ascension Parish area?
And state your name again, please, if you would, and who you represent.
Cordelia Heaney from Market Umbrella and Crescent City Farmers Markets. I think it's a great question, and part of the reason we're excited about this program is because it's going to help support infrastructure for farmers, for farmers markets, not just for the match, but also to provide some support. You know, as Allison mentioned, a lot of farmers markets are volunteer-led or have very small staffs, and so part of our hope is to help build some capacity within farmers markets or farm stands so that they can accept SNAP and be able to offer a match. And then, you know, that funding attracts more farmers who want to sell at the market because of that infrastructure and that funding stream. So we're really excited to provide a lot of technical assistance to new and beginning farmers markets and look at ways that we can help build out that system so that it's more connected and so that different farmers markets have more relationships with one another too.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Rep. Mitzi, you'd like to make a statement? Question?
Yeah, thank you. You know, sometimes it's difficult to stop legislators from speaking, but playing a video will work. So my question earlier was on the currency, and I just wanted to ask the users of this: are there any issues with the currency? Does it work well the way the structured way is proposed?
Works very well for myself. I encourage pretty much everybody I see, even people that come to the market that look like myself. I say, you got SNAP? I say, Walmart give you 2 for 1? Nah, come here. You get 2 for 1. You get the highest quality product and a variety unmatched. Strawberry season is looking good, very good. The guy that it's kind of hard on the seafood end because fuel costs are going up. So the farmer has to be supported where he can bring that high quality product to market, make it work. We got the product. We just got to put it together, make it work for everyone. And traditionally, ag business is flagship university, and you work together and get it. But it's a rural thing. Times are changing. Aquaponics, hydroponics, indoor gardening, vertical gardening. It's right there, and it feeds the multitudes. We just got to develop it, work together with it. We can feed ourselves. We can feed ourselves.
Well, thank you for those comments. And if y'all need any strawberries down there in the southern part of the state, I'm sure Representative Wheat could hook y'all up. So keep him in mind. Get his cards when it's over with. Thank you very much.
I'm Allison Flynn with Breda and Representative Mincy to answer your question from an operational standpoint. You've heard us mention tokens and reimbursements today. The way it typically works is when a SNAP beneficiary comes to a farmer's market, they can come to, typically a market manager, the market operators, swipe their EBT card for whatever amount they want, let's say $15. We would give them tokens in that amount, $15 of tokens. They have, $5 increments, $1 increments. They're just like money. And then we would also give them the match, so an additional $15 in the match. So we have a currency, farmers market currencies, typically wooden tokens, and then the customers can use those tokens directly with the farmers just like cash. So they use the wooden tokens to pay for their products, and then the farmers, the vendors, can come back to the market manager to redeem their tokens to get reimbursed, dollar for dollar. The farmers don't lose anything in that process. So there's a unique farmers market currency that makes this happen. I think it works pretty well. Yes. I won't speak for the farmers, but they're saying it themselves. But from the farmers market side, one of the challenges, especially with lower capacity markets, is that even though it's a relatively simple process, a lot goes into it. You have to get the technology and the equipment to be able to swipe cards. You have to have banking processes set up for the money to flow properly. You have to buy the supplies and manage your token inventory and market the program to make sure people know about it, and have all of these things fit in with your existing programs and your existing processes. So one of the things that's really great about Grow the Good and building a state level program is that, as Cordelia mentioned, we will help to build capacity of these smaller markets, typically in rural communities, to help them get these processes in place.
What would be your outreach to get, once this goes through, what would be your outreach to get to all the local farmer markets throughout the state to let them know about the opportunity?
Fortunately, we do have a good foundation in place. We have a network of farmers market managers that I convene. We have monthly meetings virtually just to talk about what's going on at markets. So they know that this is in the works. They're very excited about it. So that'll be sort of a first stage to get this information to our markets through that existing network. And then it'll be a lot of boots on the ground. Our staff, Market Umbrella staff, just getting out and talking with the markets that we know exist, giving them phone calls, putting out social media information and things of that nature.
And can anyone speak on how we're going to get the information out to the SNAP benefit holders? I mean, what does that network look like?
Team, help me if I'm wrong, but we'll have marketing money built into this program so that we'll do uniform marketing, to let folks know that this is now a state program, if everything goes through. Social media, radio, print. We have other things to add to that, yeah.
Thank you. No further question.
Thank you. Now, Rep. Turner.
Hey, I won't take but just a second. I have two problems right now. One of them, my wife already buys microgreens, and I pick on her about that's not enough to make a salad for me. Now I'm gonna have to go back and apologize and say how good they are. Second of all, when you come to Baton Rouge and you got, I pulled you up on Instagram, pulled you up on Facebook, and I got these pictures of these crab cakes. And I mean, you came to this committee with your flyers, crab cakes, and talk about everything, but we don't have no samples. So how can I support the bill? No, seriously, I know this is time, cost, especially when you work for yourself and you have a business. I just want to say thank you for coming and fully support it. We have a wonderful farmers market in Ruston, and this is a great addition to it. Thank y'all very much.
Well, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Rep Romero, you have a comment?
Thank you, Representative White. Mr. Boshep, you made an important statement a while ago, and I'm going to go back because we're nearly the same age. I'm a little bit younger. But when I was in school a long time ago, we had a garden, and that garden supplied the cafeteria. And every kid that was in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade had time to go out there and learn. And that's what we're missing in education today. We're sending our kids to school and we're cramming all this information into their heads to try to pass a test at the end of the year. And when they get through and they graduate, they have no idea what the world is about. Being in a garden is where it is at. And I grew up in Houston. I didn't grow up on a farm. I did grow up on a farm, but I went to school in Houston, and this was being done in the middle of Houston. So it's what we need to do. And the commissioner is here today, and I bet he would agree with me. I learned to milk a cow. I learned to make cream. I mean, this is what children are missing today. And I just wanted to make the point that thank all of you for what you're doing, and it is a great bill. Thank you, Chairman McFarland.
We want to recognize Representative Wheat.
Thank you, Acting Chairman. Listen, I want to thank each one of you that came to the table today. You could see the passion and the energy in your testimony and the good that you're doing in the communities. As I sit here and listen to it, I can't help but reflect and just wish that my grandmother was here to hear this testimony. She's passed away. She was a single mom to 7 children because her husband passed away in a logging accident early in life, and she raised 7 kids as a farmer. That was her sole source of income, was farming, and her farmer's market was the back of her pickup truck, and she traveled to different communities from Baton Rouge, Hammond, Ponchatoula, all around, and she supplied some farmers markets with fresh produce, strawberries, okra, and the like. And I know that she would be excited about your testimony and about the legislation that's being presented today, because back then she realized the importance of agricultural products and what it did for our livelihood. And so thank you for your testimony today. It kind of makes me smile a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to recognize Representative Semblant.
Thank you, Acting Chair. Appreciate it. This really hits to my heart because I was in 1970. I became an ag teacher and built a program, and that's all we did was teaching how to animals and everything that you can think of, and all greenhouses and all this. And until this day, I got my students tell them how they don't have that anymore as much as they did. As a mayor in Franklin, we have a historical city in city of Franklin, Louisiana, and we have an original, since the city was built, original market. And we got the same building that we had for the last 100 years, and it's we revitalized it, and we started our little farmers market. But this right here, I'm gonna be contacted y'all, and the city of Franklin will work with y'all, and we'll make this something that we've been needing. But when you come down and see our city market, it's about as old as, not as old as New Orleans, but we have a market, city market that was built for that in the town, and we revitalized and looking good, ready to go. So this is gonna be, I can't wait to get y'all on there and get you at our city council and everything, and we're going to be 100% behind this, and we're going to utilize and because we have a lot of growers. We have great FFA and great 4-H. The kids would love to do this, and they need the money. So can't wait to get y'all on there, and it's great to bring this back. Jack is the chairman. This is a great bill. Can't wait to get it going. It's going to go like crazy. So thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I see this growing, and I see it spreading like a vine. So we're going to make sure everybody knows. And, you know, what I think that we've all have talked about is the fact that a lot of people don't know where food comes from, and they take that for granted. And I know in the fight with being in a rural area, we have to constantly raise awareness of where the food comes from. But it's good to know that you're in the urban areas as well doing the same thing, and that's astronomical. We have a pharmacist actually that grows a big garden, and he calls it something. It's also called a pharmacy, and anybody and everybody can come pick. And I just thought that was a great idea. We also have a church that does that. So I want to recognize Representative Bryant.
Good morning. I just want to move for favorable passage at the appropriate time. And thank y'all for what y'all do. I'm kind of with Representative Wheat. The memories of my grandmother and being in the yard, pulling weeds each day, growing stuff together. We, in our area, we do have a lot of fruit stands, and we buy very little from the grocery store. And we kind of trying to raise our kids in that same fashion to stay out of the grocery store and go to the farmer's market on the way home and get fresh fruit, vegetables, and chicken. Fresh chicken is, most people don't know what that tastes like versus the stuff they go in the store and buy. So thank y'all. And this stuff connects us, being in the yard on our knees, pulling weeds, and thing is the biggest therapy that I have found in my life as a father of a lot of kids. So I find my therapy either cooking or on my knees in the yard each week, pulling weeds and cleaning up the garden. So thank y'all. Y'all keep rocking, and I wish y'all the very best.
Thank you, Rep. Bryant. And it looks like the board is clear. I will read in the cards that is present and will provide information if requested. We have Ashley Abear and Liz Magnum in support. Present and will provide information if requested is Commissioner Mike Strain. And we only have green cards, so we're just going to read them all in. We have in support Tony Landry with the Louisiana Veterans for Medical Cannabis. We have Susan East Nelson, Louisiana Partnership for Children and Families. We have Pete Martinez with the American Heart Association. Haley Holton, Grow the Good. Elisa Miner, Grow the Good. Darlene Adams Rowland, Grow the Good. Abby Reynolds, Grow the Good. And Peter Robbins Brown, Louisiana Progress Action. And that's all of the green cards that we have, and the board is clear. We have a motion to move favorable. We need to, if you would, bring the chair back to close on your bill. Any waves? Do you want to close on your bill? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, Rep. Mincy wants to make one more comment.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, you know, I guess evidently I was the only holdout for not co-authoring the bill, and that's only because when it was offered to me, I hadn't read it yet, so I just told him I wasn't prepared to. But I think you got a great resolution, and thank you for bringing it. And if the staff would add me as a co-author, I'd appreciate it.
We'll make sure that happens. Anybody we missed, we'll make sure they get added as a co-author. My colleagues, there's not a lot I can say. I think the ladies and gentlemen that are with Grow the Good that sat here today that actually do this every day, I think you heard it. I think it actually pulls at some of our, I call it our heartstrings, when we know that there are those individuals, not just those that are growing these vegetables and produce, but they get to see the individuals that benefit from purchasing it. And what I heard today was that there's generational, not just generational growers, but generational purchasers who continue to bring their children back, and now they're bringing their children. And like I said, this does disturb me that we only have 34 farmers markets that this is happening in. The participation should be all over this state. And we have that opportunity, and I appreciate you. Some of you have worked with me in appropriations that are in here now to make sure this got funded. We still got to get it through the process, but now that you understand it fully, I think you'll be there with me in the fight on the floor. I ask for your favorable passage.
And we do have favorable passage. Rep. We have a motion by Representative Bryant to move favorable. Do I hear any objections? Hearing none, the bill is moved favorable. Thank you.
Committee.
Thank you all.